Hey guys, it's Darren back with another video, and today's video is about knowing when to slow down and knowing when to, quote unquote, take your foot off the brakes. So, today I was playing football at school with some of my friends during an off period, and unfortunately I fell on my hand. I'm not really a football guy, so I don't know how to play, and I was going for a rush, and then the guy moved, and then I fell on my wrist, and then the shock went to my elbow, and it hurts right now. I can still move it. It doesn't hurt too much to the point where it's broken, but it hurts to the point where it's a disturbance. And I also have basketball practice on Tuesdays. And when I got back from school, I was stressing. I was like, I need to go to practice. I need to go. I was figuring out ways I could play against it, but I knew it was futile in the back of my head, and it took me about an hour and a half to accept it. I get back from school at like 5 because my bus is really late, and my practice is at 7. So until 6:30, I had a huge conflict going on in my head. I was gonna go to practice until like 6. I was determined to go to practice. I was dribbling. I was figuring out ways I could play against it, what hurt, what didn't hurt, what I could do. But then I realized if something goes wrong at practice, my entire career could be absolutely fucked. Like, it could be bad. I could go for a dribble that, do a move that strains it just a bit too much. And since I'm not 100%, it could take me out for months, and I need this summer to make my team. I need to grind in the summer. So I decided not to go to practice today. A lot of people would tell me in my position that I'm not about it. I'm not about the grind. I'm not about the hustle. But it can be taken in another way too. I don't need the instant gratification of doing the workout. Right now, guys, I feel like shit. Like, I wanted to go to practice today. I wanted to improve myself because I've been doing finals testing, so I can't really wake up early in the morning because I have to be early in the morning at school. So this was probably one of my only times to, work out during this week. And that opportunity is gone because of a silly mishap that I was playing football, and football doesn't even matter to me. And anyways, back to the point. I know I needed to take a break today. I didn't want to push myself to, not push myself is not the correct word, pressure yourself. I was forcing myself to go when I was uncomfortable. Now, there's a difference between discipline and being hurt. When I used to do this a lot, even when I was sick, I would go and work out at the gym, like lift weights. And I would heavily cut out on my sleep. I was sleeping like, I still kind of do it sometimes, not gonna lie. I would sleep like 3 hours a day. I can pull up my logs from last week, and I would sleep 3 hours a day. And I know it's terrible for you. I get a lot more than a lot more out of sleeping 8 hours in a day than I would going to the gym early in the morning and shooting baskets. Not only does my health get better, but I can also perform better later on. And I can use the same thing right now in my situation. Since I'm hurt right now, this is an ice pack, and then I wrapped something around it to hold it in place. There's to reduce the swelling. But anyways, even though I'm hurt right now, if I go and hurt myself even more, just for the satisfaction of knowing that I went today, I don't want to take that risk because it could put me out of doing what I love for much longer, and I can't take that. So I would much rather take the L today for not grinding than go there, something actually happens, something big, not just like a small swelling, and I can't play basketball for a long time. And I also wanted to relate this to the topic of sleep. A lot of people would say that cutting out on sleep is a good thing. To a certain degree, it is. Sometimes it is necessary. If you have a test and you need to study for or something, and you need to review more or get something done during that day, I highly advise you to cut out on an hour or two of your sleep and just do it. But The moment that becomes a problem is when it becomes a habit. I remember over winter break this year, like near winter break, I was sleeping consistently for like all of December. I was sleeping like 4 hours a day, and that's terrible for you. Um, I was still working out 3 times a day, but there was no growth. Literally, your body doesn't grow when you're not sleeping. I didn't hit like the target required to sleep. My body wasn't recovering properly, and I basically wasted all of December and set myself back even worse because in January I had an overuse injury on my knee and I couldn't play for a month. I've struggled with overworking a lot, and I've come to realize that that's a major issue that I don't want you guys going through. I've had an overwork injury on both my knees, my left and my right, patellar tendonitis, and it was terrible. I couldn't play basketball for a month. I couldn't run track for 6 weeks, and yeah, it was miserable. Like I couldn't do the thing that I love to do, and I was forced to, watch stuff from the sidelines, watch film. That's still necessary to learn the mental aspect of the game, but sometimes you just want to play, and I couldn't. And something I've learned from those experiences, and even this minor one today, is that sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's necessary to take your foot off the brake. In this modern day and age, the grind, the hustle has been romanticized by everyone. It's lost its true meaning. The grind is supposed to mean something that you're truly passionate about and something that you sacrifice everything for. But if I went to practice today, I'd be sacrificing the grind itself just for a momentary pleasure of going today and working out today. Just for that. I know that by Thursday, which is when my next AU practice is, my hand will heal better. I can play better. If I went today, I would have played timid anyways. I would have not went 100%. I was planning not to go 100%. So why would I go? It just doesn't make sense, does it? And I want you guys to realize that. Sometimes it's okay to slow down. Either to give yourself a mental break. Mental health is very important. I'll make a video on that later and how to deal with mental health as an athlete and balancing motivation and discipline and all that shit. But anyways, your mental health is important and your physical health is more important than that as an athlete. And if you don't take care of your body well by getting the proper rest, and if you're injured or sick, staying off to the side for a brief period of time, you could set yourself back. Don't be like me in January and be like me right now. This is the hard work. The Hamza quote, do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. To us athletes, going to the gym isn't the hard work. It's staying out of it that's the hard work. It's not going when you're injured because you know that you won't be able to perform well. It's not going when you're injured. That's the hard part for us. And I hope this, if you're struggling with an injury or you're struggling with, maintaining your love for the sport, I suggest you to take 2 days off. Just 2 days. Missing 2 days was not going to do anything to you. But it's not going to negatively impact you. In fact, it's going to positively impact you. Sleep for 9 hours both days. Eat well. And yeah, that's it for today's videos. I want to end with like an analogy. Let's say you're, racing a car. You're not going to push the car at 200 miles per hour for the entire race. You're not going to push it 200 miles per hour through some damn turns. You're not going to push it 200 miles per hour when you're coming into the pit stop. There are some times in the race where you need to slow down and brake in order to succeed later on. So let's say this is like a turn on a race. This is a wireless charger. You go like this. This is a bad example. Wait. Let me get something. Let me just draw this. Let me draw an oval. So you go like this. If you keep going fast, you're going to roll right off of the oval. And you don't want to do that. To stay on the track, you got to slow down. And that's what I'm saying. If you want to stay on track, sometimes you got to slow down. But don't slow down too much or else you'll lose your momentum. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. I'll see y'all later.